Hello, I'm Janet Kadow, and I wanted to talk a little bit about awakening. So, we have heard a lot about awakening lately, but I want to talk about it on a spiritual sense. When humanity awakens, we become more connected to divinity. Awakening is not about finding out the government's run by lizard people. It's just not. Okay. We awaken to our connection to divinity. So it's a spiritual awakening and a psychic awakening or an intuitive awakening simultaneously. What that means is we're going to start experiencing things that are unexplained and we're going to get a sense of them. We may get insights, inspiration, um, guidance, and we'll start feeling more in tune with the world. And in that in tune energy is synchronicities happen, even miracles can happen. And so this is an extraordinary time. A lot of people are waking up right now. But again, they're not waking up to whatever conspiracy theory. They're waking up to the connection to the divine. And in that divinity, the connection to spirit just in general. So your spirit guides or the ascended masters or whoever you or the ancestors, whoever you relate to, whoever you feel is guiding you in this world, the angelic realm, whoever you feel is guiding you in this world or supporting you in this world, whoever you're praying to, whoever you're asking for help, even if it's just the universe, if you say, I want the universe to help me, or however you phrase it, then you'll get that feeling of connection with it, and things will start, your life will become easier, things will start becoming clearer, and it is an extraordinary experience. The problem is, when we have this awakening, um, the typical thought around it is that your third eye is opening. So what was a little pinhole before is now becoming bigger and bigger. So we're getting more and more insight. And when that happens, when the third eye starts to open, we also must confront all the parts of us that are not healed. So we have to confront the parts of us that hold our fears, our phobias, our paranoias, and all of that stuff. So if we haven't dealt with our psychic wounds on any level, or we don't know how to handle them, or they're out of control, then a psychic or spiritual awakening is actually going to make that worse. So if we have a lot of, um, let's say, fear over aliens or something, it's going to get worse when we have a spiritual awakening or a psychic opening, because we first have to confront our fears and phobias. And this is why, way on back in the day, when every village had a healer and a seer and, someone who was the spiritual anchor of the village. This is why when they would take on an apprentice, the apprentice would have to go through rigorous training, sometimes lasting decades, that would go through many, many death ceremonies and rituals, because we had to deal with the ego, and all the fears and phobias and our psychic wounds had to be dealt with before we could even grow spiritually and connect more spiritually. So know that when we are, I know a lot of psychics who are basically um, kind of losing their minds in this time, because the awakening is happening. The energy is opening up so intensely, and they're not dealing with their own fears and phobias and wounds. And that will just begin a projection, an overlay, the interpretation of the things that are happening in the world through the lens of their wounds. And so when you have that going on, it can be very dangerous. And we are seeing this a lot in the world. For people's psychic wounds are all coming to the surface. And we're seeing a lot of imbalance, a lot of anger, and a lot of fear all over the place. And it is um, um, concerning, but it is also, a process that we have to confront, either within ourselves or, have compassion for those who are going through it, which can be very difficult when they're causing harm to others. So we must hold space for the greater awakening to take place with grace and ease, and our own awakening to do the same. So when we are feeling confronted with our fears and phobias, whatever we're afraid of, whatever we're worried about, whatever we're feeling paranoid about, we need to ask ourselves why we feel that way. And we need to ask ourselves again, so if we feel that way because, you know, whatever, we heard it from someone and that worried us, and then we feel um, afraid about how things are going to go or what the future looks like and so on. We have to continue to work with our guides, our spirit protectors, helpers, divinity, whoever it is that you connect with. Ask them for help. Ask them for guidance. Ask them to help you understand your fears and face them. It's that simple. And keep working with it. Keep exploring. Keep that inner work going so you always know what you're afraid of and why you're afraid. Don't be in denial about fear. It's not going to help. Being in denial about fear will actually turn into a wound. We have to confront it and deal with it. We also have to deal with our wounds and triggers, of course. But on a spiritual level, utilizing meditation and practices of self-examination, counseling and other things will help you get through those things so that as you awaken and as you get more insights, you are balanced and you understand, the beauty of it, the wonderful things that could happen because you are connecting more and more with spirit. So, we'll talk a little bit more about this later on. I don't want to make this first video very long. I'm excited to start building up my channel, so if you would like to hear more later, I don't know when, but later. We'll see about it. We'll see how it goes. Practice self-awareness and why you think what you think. And always ask over and over again, why I feel this way. If you have a trigger, explore it, understand it, learn about it. And if you're having trouble, ask spirit to guide you, ask spirit to help you. Now, even if you cannot hear or communicate with your guides or whatever, they can still help you just by you asking. They can't help you if you don't ask. So when you're having a spiritual awakening, utilize spirit to give you more, to support you, to protect you, to keep you clear, so that your fears and phobias don't take over your psyche and you become really angry and confused about what's going on. Let's do this with grace and ease. It's a wonderful thing to be spiritually connected, to be psychically aware, and to be guided all the time. It's not hard. It's already happening. Take care, everyone. Until next time.